Asian carp became an increasing problem in the United States when they were imported into the country in the 1970s to eat algae at wastewater treatment plants to help clean catfish ponds. But the carp often escaped. Escape and invasion of lakes and ponds in the United States have caused negative consequences. So what will happen if humans fight back? Watch our full video with BGI Factory today to learn how Americans deal with Asian carp. These invasive carp species are causing problems in the Mississippi River and surrounding waters. Invasive carp are prolific and a fast-growing species that compete with native fish and leave a trail of environmental destruction. 4 types of invasive carp currently found in the United States have been imported into the country for use in aquaculture ponds. Through flooding and accidental releases, carp, black carp, grass fish, fathead, and silverfish have found their way into the Mississippi River system. The Mississippi River is like a giant freshwater highway that has given invasive carp species access to many of the country's rivers and streams. Recreational fishing is big business in Mississippi. In 2011, costs related to recreational fishing in the state amounted to $528 million. As Asian carp compete with native fish species caught recreationally, those revenues can decline significantly. Asian carp may dominate native fisheries in both numbers and biomass. Fathead carp can weigh up to 110 pounds, although 30 to 40 pounds is considered average. Carp can live over 20 years, reaching maturity at about 7 years. Asian carp can consume 5 to 20% of their body weight per day. Since most native fish species feed on plankton during their larval and juvenile stages, this high level of plankton feeding by Asian carp could severely impact the stability of the food web. When not feeding on plankton, Asian carp are known to feed on detritus and plant roots at the bottom of protected bays and wetlands. This disturbance could have significant impacts on Great Lakes wetlands and coastal vegetation, which provide spawning habitat for native fish and breeding areas for native waterfowl. Water quality degradation and damage to wetland vegetation in native waterfowl breeding areas could threaten an annual waterfowl hunting industry worth more than $2.5 billion. Asian carp can lay up to 2 million eggs at a time. So these fish grow so quickly that they create huge numbers of spawns. Invasive Asian carp pose a serious threat to the Great Lakes and America's waterways, and many communities in the United States rely on containment of this ecosystem. In their natural habitat, Asian carp populations are kept in check by natural predators. Unfortunately, there are no native fish species in the Great Lakes large enough to prey on adult Asian carp. White pelicans and eagles have been observed feeding on juvenile Asian carp in the Mississippi River basin. Pelicans found west of the Great Lakes and eagles throughout the basin likely do the same. When frightened by the sound of a boat or personal watercraft engine, Silver carp have been known to jump up to 10 feet out of the water. The sound of a boat engine can make a whole school of carp jump at the same time. It is not uncommon for silver carp weighing 20 to 30 pounds to jump into boats, sometimes resulting in damage to equipment or even injury to occupants. The Great Lakes Commission estimates that nearly 1 million motorboats and personal watercraft use the Great Lakes. If silver carp fall into the lake, about 1 million recreators could be in danger. This could have a negative impact on the 4.5 billion annual commercial and recreational fisheries in the Great Lakes. Preventing the spread of Asian carp is essential in their economy during the summer. Several riverboat rental companies offer strong aerial bow fishing, giving them many opportunities and to assemble to shoot fish jumping consecutively. Americans are becoming increasingly creative in dealing with invasive species to show how bad the problem is. The U.S. Department of Fish and Wildlife Resources uses shock boats to stun carp until they float to the surface, so that video can be easily collected and measured, showing countless fish jumping up after the boat sends electricity. Electric current running through water at electric dams to stimulate fish is considered the most popular method because of the number of harmful fish is very large in the large area of the sea. So instead of using small handheld fishing nets, they will prefer to use such larger fishing nets, which ensure that schools of harmful Asian carp are blocked from entering the electric fence. Nets prevent the movement of carp, and commercial fishermen under contract to the state eventually removed thousands of tons of Asian carp from waterways for their own use. Maybe you have heard of the luxury koi fish hobby. This is known as the most expensive freshwater fish in the world, when it costs 203 million yen, equivalent to 1.4 million US dollars for one fish. Do you wonder how they are raised and can be so expensive? Today, join me on a tour of the koi fish farm in the Ojaya region of Japan, which is known as the capital of the Japanese koi fish, to see the process, how to raise and harvest these million-dollar fish. Japan is one of the largest koi fish producing countries in the world, with many different types of koi fish. Japanese koi fish have a special appeal in both color and shape. Because of its brilliant beauty, attractive flexible body, and high adaptability to the living environment, Japanese koi fish are a popular ornamental fish raised in many countries around the world. Known as the national fish of Japan, Japanese koi fish are cherished and cared for very carefully, appearing in many public places in Japan, becoming a typical beauty of the country. Koi farm owners gain farming experience from their ancestors. They are the second and third generations in the family, expanding the koi farm with an area of up to dozens of hectares. Japanese koi fish belong to a breed of carp that has been bred and domesticated to be raised as an ornamental fish in small lakes. Japan is a country with highly developed koi fish breeding techniques, creating hundreds of species of koi fish with the most beautiful colors and high value, amongst the most expensive ornamental animals in the world. The type of Japanese koi fish that is popular today is a white fish with a red circular head that resembles the color of the Japanese national flag. However, there are many types of Japanese koi fish based on the color of the fish and divided into different species, estimated to be more than 100 species. Koi fish are raised quite popularly in Japan because, according to traditional beliefs, Japanese people consider koi fish to be a fish of luck and prosperity. Even in Japan, every year, koi fish competitions are held to find the most beautiful and valuable koi fish. The Japanese breed koi fish very seriously, using purebred koi fish species for breeding. When the females are determined to be fertile, they will be picked up and placed in a closed room. They will pour anesthetic into the water, and the fish will gradually go unconscious thanks to the anesthetic. This helps the fish stabilize during the egg retrieval process. Farmers will use a damp towel to wrap around the fish to ensure moisture for the fish during the process. This egg retrieval is done by the hands of people with many years of experience in the profession. The artist will use a clean towel to dry the fish's anus and surrounding parts, because if the egg is submerged in water, it will quickly harden and cannot be fertilized anymore. When the fish is turned over, the eggs will be poured out from the fish's anus into a previously placed iron pot. When the eggs flow out more slowly, the farmer will gently press the goods from the fish's belly down to make sure. Once all eggs are removed, the leftover eggs might cause health problems for the fish later. After the eggs are removed from the fish's stomach, workers will check the quality of eggs collected. 780 grams of eggs, equivalent to 400,000 eggs, were harvested. Next will be the male. As well as the female, after being caught from the tank, they will be released into a basin containing anesthetics. The anal and surrounding area will be cleaned, which is very important for the semen retrieval process. A gentle pressure will help the sperm to be released. When the sperm is released, they will use a specialized needle to suck it up, and after absorbing the necessary amount of sperm from the previous number of eggs, this pair of parents will be released into the tank and nursed back to health. The rest will be done by the breeder. They will record and breed names of the fish parents. This is important to record the future lineage of the fish. Eggs will be measured into a cup containing carefully measured sperm and solvent. After being fertilized, eggs will be poured evenly onto shelves made of nylon fibers tightly woven into a plastic frame. The eggs will immediately adhere tightly to the small hairs of the substrate wires. The frames will be placed into large, concrete ponds that will then be transferred to the mud pond at the end of the day. Fish farms will have breeding methods to care for their fish eggs in many different ways. They will keep the eggs in the pond until they hatch, and then they will be transferred to other breeding ponds. Other fish farms can incubate and fry in a greenhouse, or they can be raised in ponds so they can swim freely during the hatching process. After only 9 days of fertilization, these fish can swim freely in the water. You can see a lot of people here, young and old, male and female. They are all doing the same job. They use plastic water pipes to dip into the water. This is the process of selecting fish. Breeders with experience in selecting fish believe that only selecting blackfish will develop well in the future, and 1-week-old white fries will be discarded. On hot summer days, the fry will grow very quickly. 18-day-old fries are always hungry. Their skin pigmentation has begun to develop. Now will be the time to filter the first batch of fish. From 3 million newly born koi fish, only about 15,000 can be selected to raise in the first year, and about 1,000 fish to raise in the following year. After filtering, the fish will be released into the pond and raised. Koi fish are not as densely populated as other commercial fish ponds. Selected koi are transferred to large natural ponds, and the population is kept very low. This ensures a peaceful growing environment and enough natural food for all koi. From infancy to adulthood, koi fish need quality food to grow large. Quality food is also necessary for fish to have beautiful colors. Breeders use quality food ingredients in appropriate quantities for the koi's diet to help them gain weight. But the growth of koi fish depends greatly on natural food. Since koi fish are omnivores, they eat both plant and animal organisms. Therefore, the pond must have a sufficient supply of both for the koi. There are koi fish that have been selectively bred to produce different patterns and colors. What makes them so expensive is that their quantity is extremely small because of complex breeding techniques. Creating a fish with a special pattern and color takes a lot of time. As you know, breeding a quality koi fish takes much time and effort. It seems that the demand for koi fish is becoming more and more popular, leading to a situation of insufficient supply and demand. Therefore, the price of koi fish is increasingly expensive. The price of Japanese koi fish has many different levels depending on the fish breed, color, size, and beauty of the fish. There are rare types of koi that even cost up to hundreds of thousands of dollars per fish. In an artificial environment with appropriate living conditions, fish can live up to 40 to 60 years. In traditional Japanese culture, pattern tattoos have spiritual meanings and are a historical art form. Pattern details such as the tattoos on the body of the koi carp represent evolution and transformation like a miracle. Thanks to perseverance and effort, koi fish can overcome waterfalls and streams and evolve into dragons. Therefore, the koi fish is a meaningful symbol in religious Japanese culture. Koi are also fish that represent wisdom, longevity, and loyalty. Many famous large koi farms in Japan have become attractive tourist destinations, attracting many international tourists. Known as the national fish of Japan, Japanese koi fish are cherished and cared for very carefully, appearing in many public places in Japan, becoming a typical beauty of the nation. Have you seen why koi fish have become so expensive? What do you think about today's video? Please leave your comments to let us know. Don't forget to subscribe and like this video. Goodbye, and see you again soon.